I'm just gonna wait until we get more viewers. This is a random live, so for whoever's here, hope you're enjoying the view because it's very pretty. Hi, Nikki. It is so hot here, though. It's beautiful, but it's hot. Hi, Tom. I haven't seen you on my comments in a while. How are you doing? What take is that? What do you mean, what take? Oh my God, yeah. I mean, I'm in a park, Nikki, and it feels like there's 100 degrees. It's been raining here off and on, but it feels like it's 100 degrees here. It's so muggy and hot that if I don't have water, I don't think I would be able to be like sitting here. But this is not where I live. This is a park that I come to. It's a park where I come to. Yeah, as the ducks are back. Hi, John. Actually, when I came into the park, because there's like a opening to come in, the moment I came in, the ducks came running at me and they followed me like halfway. It was the cutest thing. I actually took a video of it, so I'm going to post on my WhatsApp community later. Yes, Lucky, you have a question. Go ahead. Ask me the question. Hello, Tango. I also just filmed my video for tomorrow, and it's about my meditation experience. It's long, let me just say, because I went through a lot of different moments in my life where I was meditating, and that led me to this big meditation experience, so it's a little long. If this is pink, the color is pink, but the brand is not pink. I've been in a lot of physical pain, and my mental health issues have really affected me. You might need to start practicing maybe box breathing to get out of survival state. If you're in a survival state, you cannot really function. And sometimes we live in survival for way too long. Let me see. Sylvia says, has social media now been able to be a source of income? So I am monetized. It's not like, I'm not going to say that it's like, oh my God, crazy, but I am generating some income. It's, I mean, I just started, so I don't know how this really works and how it varies. I mean, it's not to sustain myself because if it was, and I think, I wouldn't be here in the park, but at least I think that it is going to lead me somewhere. Yes, meditation is good for so many things, Nikki, and solitude. But the thing is that I have been a very in solitude most of my life. I'm a loner. I've been a loner, so I am always like alone. And that might come off as, oh, you're a lonely person, but it's not that I'm a lonely person, even though I have felt lonely before. But I think that being alone has been a gift because it has like allowed me to learn more about myself. Thank you, Lucky, for no, I do not smoke cigarettes. I don't smoke. Hi, Wayne. But yeah, solitude is has been key for me, to be honest. You're more of a chanter than a meditator. I can also chant, but there's a thing that happens when you are able to sit in within yourself that really starts to light up parts of your brain that you don't you don't even know it's happening. It changes the format of your brain, and the meditations that I do, they have subtle chants in them too. Wayne, thank you so much for the super thanks. Thank you so much. It this live to talk freely. I am a person who I talk freely. I talk freely about everything. I am not someone who is going to like I'm no longer like hiding behind masks. I just talk my life how it is. Like sometimes it's not about being alone, or sometimes it's just about being by yourself, because sometimes being alone is your own company. Yeah. And I have learned that being alone is from experiences with like the few relationships that I've had and how they've been they've been painful. I have learned that I'm so much more better on my own, like alone. And the only time that I will ever choose to be with someone is if they match me and they meet me where I am energetically, and like I would say, yeah, energetically and consciously. So being my own company is has been very rewarding, while at the same time unraveling all of my wounds by myself can feel very lonely, but it's making me stronger. Do you consider yourself self-reliant? Yes, I am self-reliant. I am self-reliant. And the reason why I say that is because I have been through so many dark pits that I have fallen into, that I have had to like rely on myself to get out of the dark pit, even when I think that I couldn't. And I'm always crawling out of that pit no matter what. So there's a resilience, and I rely a lot on me, like the power within me to come out. So yeah, I would say that I am. Yes, you have to trust yourself enough to keep your heart open. Absolutely. And I think I'm doing that now more than I ever have before. I am I am so much more open now since I started being on here and sharing my real truth of my life, that I know that so many people also experience in many different ways, and they just keep it in. And I think that is transformative when you can just be you and be authentic. There's no need to hide who you are. There's no need to pretend to be someone you're not to please other people. Like, your truth is your truth, and that is what's going to lead you to where you need to be in life. And I think that you just need to let go of all these things that you thought you were, that you're not. Because when you start to ask yourself, am I all these things that I think I am? And you will realize that you're not. And you have to start to be who you are and step into your own authenticity, your own power. Because we all have these unique ways of seeing life and perspectives and experiences that can really help other people. But if you're afraid of your wounds and you're afraid of who you are, then it's going to be hard to like navigate through life. And I feel like that's what I've done. I'm breaking free and really standing in my power. And sometimes we forget ourselves, which is why we need to pull ourselves away, especially in this day and time. Yes, I agree. I agree. And the other thing too that I need to like touch on is, we live right now in a very critical, I'm seeing this like huge division in the world where there are really extreme ways of seeing things. And then you have the other side of like people who are more conscious, more aware. They're trying to make changes for like to move the world in a positive way. And then there's like this whole like thing where if you stand up and you talk your truth, you're gonna have people come and like try to rip you to shreds, call you all sorts of things. People are even saying that meditation is like demonic, like there's this huge division of things that people can really attack you for the things that you believe and do. And I think that we should all respect ourselves in this time and age. Like we are so much more aware now that we should be able to respect other people's perspectives and beliefs and way of life. And right now, when you say something and people don't agree with you, they're going to come after you and they're going to tell you nasty things. So you have to build a shield of like resilience and tough skin so that when you face these things and you stand in your truth, they can't take that away from you, no matter what the beliefs are. Because at the end of the day, that's their perspective. Butterflies in stomach. What do you mean by butterflies in stomach? Let me go back because I'm missing. See if I missed. I'm like 21 years old, boy. What will you tell me? Tips. I'm not sure what kind of tips you would like. Like a journey, we keep learning and we get older. We understand that how we've been groomed from young age and we just follow instead of lead. Yes, Nikki, that's another thing that most of us, we don't lead. We follow. And we need to start becoming leaders. We can all lead. Like we are all equally leaders if we want to be, and we can change the world by really just stepping into who we are. And that makes you a leader because you are the one breaking a pattern or a cycle. And that is very, very important in the way that energy moves, because you are creating a new ripple of energy. And that means that the world will start to change eventually with time, because it will also cause people to want to do the same. No, I'm not homeless. I'm not homeless. I live at home with my parents. Hello to Phoenix in Istanbul. Hi, Susie. Great to see you for the live first time. We definitely can be our own leaders for ourselves and others with an intentional. Yes, we can definitely be. We are all leaders. Okay, we were taught to believe, to follow, like if we were to be cattle and we just gotta do whatever is being told to us, and like move over there, move here, do this, do that, work for this, work for that. I've even noticed when you are working in a corporate company, or you're working in general for somebody, you're not working for your dream. You are fulfilling that person's dream. You're fulfilling their dream and their pocket out of your sacrifice. So what is left for you? Because you're not doing this like you think you're doing it for you because you're getting a portion of the money. But the majority of the money is going to somebody above you who has you there working for them, and you're fulfilling their dream. They're able to travel, they're able to be at home with their families, they're able to like do things while you're there working for them. So it's like we all need to follow our dreams and chase them and be our own leader, and not be under this rule of like fulfilling other people's desires, because we get used like slaves in reality. Am I a motivational speaker? I've been called a speaker. I never knew that I could be a speaker. But I've been told that I could be a speaker before, since I've been on YouTube. I just know that I can talk forever. I literally started my own business as an engineer and contractor because of this very thing. I had to take control. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you need to take control of your life. If you're always going to be working for somebody else, right, you're fulfilling that person's dream. That person has a dream and they want to do things and explore life, but they're doing that at the cost of your sacrifice for them. So it all depends, like, what you're doing. If you're doing something that you love doing and it's paying you well, by all means, do it. But if you're literally living from paycheck to paycheck just to work for somebody else, and you are literally struggling and you're miserable in the job that you're in, then you don't belong there. You need to find your freedom and your you need to be the leader of your story in your life. We can't just continue to be fulfilling other people's desires while we leave ourselves behind and abandon ourselves. And most of us do that, because I've done that. And I have worked in places that I've had to tolerate real BS for a lousy paycheck. Background seems lovely. Yeah, I love this park. This park is very beautiful. This park is very beautiful. I love coming here. Your job is miserable, but it is important. I mean, every job, there's an importance to it. And if it's miserable, then maybe that's something you need to ask yourself. Because if it's important, but you're miserable, there's a disconnect there. Did I punch them? No, I don't punch anybody. Yeah, the situations and circumstances dictate everything. Yes, and it's also because of the way that the system, the way that things have been programmed to us to make us live and believe that way and move through life that way. They have deprived us from like who we are and our actual abilities. Like, there's so many things that you should know about that you're not taught. Like, you should be able to know how to regulate your nervous system. That is a very important part of your life and quality of life, and nobody tells you that. Nobody cares about regulating your nervous system. They want to keep your nervous system dysregulated so they can keep control over you. And that's why the system is the way it is. It's like we're constantly like on this hamster wheel trying to, chase our dreams while struggling and sacrificing everything. And by the time that you're like 70 years old and now you get to live your life, you're already like tapped out. Some people don't take that opportunity in life to move ahead, and that's okay. I know somebody very wise who said the world needs ditch diggers as well. Yeah, it's a balance of it all. To be honest, it's a balance of it all. I think that the people that feel that they need to be doing something else, those are the people that have to move that direction. If a person is okay with what they are, with the life they're having, that is what their experience is, and they don't have a deeper calling for something else, then that's their experience. There's different levels of a need and want in every person. So I just think that we need to move into a different way of living life, because the way that we're all living life is very chaotic and is very dysregulating, and it's very fear-based, and it's very disconnected. And we need to go back into like a state of more like wholeness and a system that works for everybody, where everybody can feel more regulated and not have to, like, because all this regulation has people sick. Have I considered moving? I have considered moving. I mean, I can't move right now financially, but I have tried moving in other, like 2 years ago I tried moving. That didn't work out because, to be honest, Florida, I don't know if you guys have seen, but Florida actually beat New York as the most expensive state to live in. And sometimes they ask you up to $8,000 to $10,000 in order to be able to move into a hole in the wall here. And I have 3 dogs, so I cannot just, when I move, I'm gonna have to move locally for the time being, but ideally I want to move to Colorado. I am single. I am single. Yeah, a community of like-minded people does help, and I think that's what we need to kind of like move towards, community of like-minded people who have the same kind of idea, who wants to bring like a more unified world is what we need. Don't uproot yourself until you're ready to go. What that's the self-reflection has to do with. Yeah. And I mean, I have to be very realistic. Like, the market right now when it comes to like rent and houses is ridiculous. And what's also very weird is that When I was trying to move out 2 years ago, 98% of the places that I contacted told me no dogs. They were like, no dogs. Cats, yes, but no dogs. And I'm like, why no dogs? Why can't I have my dog? And I was struggling with finding a place that I can take my dogs with me. So Colorado is like open arms for dogs. When I went to Colorado, dogs were even like sitting outside at fast food places and they had like water bowls for them and everything. I loved how welcoming and opening Colorado was for dogs. That has really surprised me. So here is like, for some reason, like no dogs. Cats were acceptable, but I guess because a lot of cats go outside and they stay out and then they come back. That's why I think I can't have a cat, because I would be traumatized if the cat leaves and then I can't find him. So, but yeah, here in Florida, it's like very hard to find a place that allows you to have dogs. You have to have like, I guess, really good money in order to get that. Even though you just met me through your chat, don't be fooled by some of these idiots trying to coax you out of your stability. Oh, I know. I've had people, I've already had people do that, try to do that. And I have had people like question me and say like, what kind of stuff am I saying? What am I talking about? Or someone today actually called me a clown. Realms, hi, beautiful. Thank you for being you. You're definitely a gift to the soul tribe. Thank you for reminding us to be our best and that we can find inner peace. We doing the work. Yes, thank you, Realms. You are a beautiful, kind soul. I love reading your comments all the time, and yeah, I feel like somehow YouTube is connecting me to like-minded people who are in my same energy field that want the same thing. And I think it's very powerful that we all step into our authenticity, because that's going to be a major factor on how we can change the world, is by no longer being afraid of being who we are. You have a house cat? I love cats. I'm also allergic to cats. Let me say, I'm still very allergic to cats, but I love cats. They're adorable. When I would ride bike, because I haven't been able to because of the heat. I have like 3 or 4 cats have like stopped me in my tracks, where I had to stop my bike, pet the cat. The cat would like, I love cats. Cats are beautiful. And they're like, I see cats as very mystical, and I see cats mystical, and I see dogs as guardians, protectors. So that's how I see dogs and cats. I would love to have a cat one day. Thank you, Sid. I am doing my best. Clowns project closeness. You are not a clown. Yeah, I've been called a clown. I've been called a grifter. I've been called fake. I've been called all sorts of things on here that if I did not have thick skin, it would have affected me. But now I look at it and I'm like, yeah, whatever. Acoustic, I don't like pets. Yeah, I can't be without pets. I love pets. I love every animal, as you can think of. Like, I love every animal. And to me, they're the closest thing to unconditional love. Oh, and by the way, my video today is long. I had someone tell me that my videos should stay around the 20-minute mark, but I went really into my meditation experience in this video, and it's like maybe like 47 minutes long, because I talked about my meditation journey. So this video is going to be long. Sometimes I do long videos. I talk a lot. I am a source of information. I'm like a fountain. I'm always just like saying whatever comes. I have no script, okay? Like, I have no script. I didn't even bring notes. I don't have nothing but my water in my bag. I just sit here and I just talk. That's what I do all the time. And, sometimes I have notes when I want to say, like, I don't want to get off topic, but since it was my meditation experience, I just talked about like my meditation experiences of what I've had since I started meditating in 2012. It's impossible to have any success on social media without also attracting trolls. Yeah, it is impossible. It is impossible. And the thing is that we attract trolls in real life too. Like, I have attracted trolls in real life too that have told me things to my face. Like, I think I said once that I was driving. I was driving in my car. I was in my car driving. I was at a red light and I had music on, my windows down. This is a long time ago. And there was a guy that was in his car and is on the lane next to me. And he said something to me because I guess he saw my eyes, and he said something about being pretty or something like that. And when I turned around and I went to answer him, he was like, "Oh, what the f? Look at your teeth, gross." So I've had trolls in real life. Let me see if I missed something. So I'm coming here because I'm going through the messages. Check out Asheville, North Carolina, Eastern Shore. I have seen, I mean, I've never been there, but I've seen pictures of North Carolina and stuff. But I really want to go to Colorado. Like, Colorado's a calling for me. It's been a calling since I went. And I have seen myself, like I have envisioned myself living in Colorado. And that's the place that calls me. The same thing, like, I also have a calling for like the Caribbean. And I don't mean like living in a Caribbean island, but I feel like there's a calling for me to go to the ocean in the Caribbean. I want to be around dolphins, and I have had that calling for so long in my life. Like, I want to be in the ocean somewhere where I could be around dolphins. That's been something that I have been called to do for so many years, and I've never been able to do it. But that's something that I want to do one day too. But I am called to move to Colorado, and it's not going to be anytime soon, but it is something that I have envisioned that I will eventually live in Colorado. Thank you, Butterfly. I'm so glad that you enjoy my live chats. I've been wanting to go live, but I haven't been able to. I mentioned in my video last week I had a very high and extreme anxiety, and I noticed that the day that I went live, that was the last time I went live. I went live in my house, like in my room, when my father went to sleep, and that live was almost 2 hours. The following day, I was so exhausted and drained, and I was just depleted that I was like, yeah, I don't think I can do live streams like so late because it depletes me fully of my energy. And especially if I'm talking like in an expanded way, it drains me. I just heard a song by Our Trophy Scars. The song is The Block Talk. You should listen to. It's really good. I will listen to that, Vegeta. Oh, I do want to visit There's a lot of places I want to visit. Thailand being one of them, Japan, Greece, Egypt. I am called to Egypt. Like, the feeling and the pull to Egypt is like, it, it pulls me over there. I have to go to Egypt. I want to go to the pyramids of Giza. I need to go there one day. That is something that I really need to do, aside from going to the ocean and being with dolphins. Another thing that I also want to do is I want to go to Washington one day and be able to canoe my way into the ocean and be around an orca. I would love to experience the magnificence of an orca. I love them. They are so beautiful. I just want to experience life and experience the magnificence of life. And I find so much magic in whales and dolphins, and that I just want to connect with them, especially because I have a connection with dolphins. So I really would, there goes a train. I really would love to do that one day. But yeah, I would love, like, I have this deep calling for Egypt. I need to go to Egypt. I love Egypt. When I was a child, I wanted to be in Egypt. Oh my God, I loved Egypt since I was a child too. And I loved like I loved their sculptures, like the cats and the dogs, and I loved Anubis. Like I loved all of, like I wanted to have like in my house, I wanted to have like figures of like Egyptian figures because I found it so fascinating. I just always found it fascinating. As a matter of fact, I'm going to give you like a quick little. I believe that in a past life, I was an Egyptian. I was in Egypt, and I had a dolphin as a messenger. And I've believed that for a long time because I remember one day I was like, why do I feel so connected to Egypt? Since I'm talking about a child. I felt so connected to Egypt. And the more that I grew up, the more I felt this like drawn to Egypt. And then I saw that I had experiences with a dolphin, and I feel connected to dolphins. And one day, this thought came to me. It was like, yeah, because you were in a lifetime, you were an Egyptian, and you had a messenger that was a dolphin. And I'm like, well, that makes sense. If that makes total sense. I believe there is halo juice dolphins in Egypt. I'm not saying for a vacation. I'm saying after you take that clear breath and exhale and say you made it, what do you think? I mean, that would be like probably one of my biggest exhales. And to me, because I mean, I am someone who really just wants like a simple life where I can be where I want to be and live my life fully to that vision, and then be of service to other people. And I think that the moment that I will be able to do that, the exhale will be so deep, and that would be like a full circle moment for me. And I think that me being here is me reaching that. I'm walking the steps there. Let's see. Let me see if I miss anything here. Being able to dream isn't always given. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, Jenny. I'm sorry I didn't. I'm looking at the messages, so you're absolutely right. I'm not gonna lie. There has been times where I had believed that there was no vision for me. There was a time where I really felt like there was no vision for me, and I did not think that it was an escape for me to escape my reality, and that I was gonna basically be stuck. And it's very hard. Like, I was always a dreamer. I would always dream. Like, my imagination was very creative, and I would always be like imagining and envisioning all these things. And when you become an adult and reality starts to really hit you, it stops you from dreaming because you're constantly just worried. And it stops you from dreaming. And then you no longer can really envision. You don't know your path. You don't know. You're just constantly living in this present where it's the past repeating itself, and you're just absolutely stuck. And there was a point where I was not dreaming. I was constantly worried. So yeah, being able to dream and to still find, I think we could all find our dreams and envision our life and how we want it to be. We just have to kind of like get out of that box that sometimes clouds our mind and doesn't allow us to see that there is a path. You will be looking for a travel partner. Oh my God. I would love to have a travel partner. I would love to be able to have someone to like do stuff with, because before it used to be my sister. But my sister has a family now. And I feel like I'm separate. So now it's just me. And it kind of hurts because my sister was the person I had. Like, she was my best friend, and we would do everything together. And now it's like I just feel so separate that I know that I would love to have a friend to be able to do things with. Because that's something that's, I'm still learning how to understand, because I never thought that the change would be so drastic from having a baby, and that I would, in a way, felt like I was abandoned. I felt abandoned since I was born, and then the only person I had was my sister, and then I felt abandoned again too. So that is something that I'm still working with because it hurts. And I love my niece. She's the most beautiful little girl ever. But my sister changed like completely. And I don't have like the person I would go to do things, or like my sister's very outgoing, and I was like the one that wouldn't do much, and I was very like always very low key. My sister was more outgoing, more fun, and she had friends, and we would go do stuff. And she was always there for me. When I would have anxiety, she would always like was there for me. Um, but all that changed, so it's been hard to understand that. Not like we don't even like talk much, even though I take care of her daughter every Saturday, but we don't talk much. That's okay. Family is needed as long as don't interfere with your dreams. Yeah, I agree. And honestly, I the only family I have are my parents and my sister, and the rest of my family is in Jersey. They don't need, I don't even, they don't talk to me. I don't know anything about them. They've never really, once I left Jersey, that was it. It's like that was it. So I don't really have like a big family. Like I lost my grandparents. I was very young, and it's been a very like isolated. It's been like a very isolated life, because even though I have my parents, to my parents I've always been like invisible. So it's like I'm not even there, And the only person I had was my sister, and then my sister moved 3 years ago, and that was very difficult because the only person I had I no longer had, and then it's just very lonely. Like when you realize how lonely you are, even when you're surrounded by people that you live with, you're actually more lonely than if you were to be alone. And that's hard to understand. Do you miss New Jersey? No, I don't. I actually did not like New Jersey. I didn't like New Jersey. I didn't like how the sky looked. It was very like here the sky is very very blue. In Colorado it's like very 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 blue. Over there it's like this pale blue, almost depressive. And I noticed that interferes with my with the way that I feel, because it's kind of like, it's not that it's gloomy, but it's very pale, and it doesn't feel bright. And I love to be in places where the sky is bright and the sun is bright. And I feel that Jersey is like pale. It's not. It doesn't. I don't feel. I feel like it depresses me. Can you say "We love you, Tekka" for 8 edits? Try Cape May. It's different there, especially in the winter. And that's another thing that I miss. So what I miss from Jersey, because I don't miss the state. Like I don't like New Jersey, but I did miss the seasons. And in Florida, we don't have that. We have summer all year long, and you might get a little bit of a cool air one day. So I missed seasons. I miss autumn. I miss winter. Like I miss seasons, and that's something that I want to, I want to move to a state where I can experience the seasons, because I remember that as a child, that was something that I always loved, was like the transition of the seasons. I loved that, and I loved like the change of air and the way that the energy felt. Here is like the same thing all year long. Hi, Orion. I would love to visit the UK. I would love to visit so many parts of the world, honestly. I can relate with you losing a sibling. When my big brother left our foster family, I was crushed and almost committed suicide, but I managed to rationalize myself to living. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, like, and not that, it's just that she also changed, she changed. And many times she doesn't even know how I'm doing. She doesn't know, like, she used to care. And now it's like, and that hurts, because she was the only person I really had. And that bond, that's not there anymore. Oh my God, I know. I've seen the sky in Hawaii, obviously in pictures because I've never been to Hawaii, but Hawaii is beautiful. The color of the sky looks amazing. Like, that's one thing I love about Florida, is that the sky, when it's like a nice day out, it is so blue. So blue. And I love that nice deep blue that the sky gets here. And the sunsets are beautiful. The sky turns like cotton pink with like purples, and I just love the sky. The sky is something that really calls me. And yeah, the sky in Jersey and New York and like, it's depressing. Try not to blame her. It's not that I blame her. I don't blame her at all. Um, it's not that I blame her. It's just I don't understand how you can just unplug yourself and like not not even like text to be like, hey, how are you? Are you okay? Or it's just a very odd thing. Like, my family experience is very odd, and everyone, like my family, like my parents, they're all like, it's always been like everybody's on their own thing. And it was just me and my sister. And then when my sister's no longer, my sister moved out, I felt abandoned because it was the only person I had. But the fact that it's also like disconnected, very similar to my parents, where like I have become invisible too, that hurts. And I'm not in any way am I blaming her. I know that life changes, but it doesn't change that, you had a sister that you were close to, and how can all of a sudden now it's like almost like if that kind of like disappeared. Hi, Jiminy. Well, yeah, but I've been to New York. I mean, I was born in New York, but the color of the sky in New York is not as bright as the sky in Florida. It's a different kind of blue. It's a paler blue. When I left home, none of us spoke for a few decades. It's only more recently we connected, and it was because everything that happened. We all needed time for ourselves. Well, yeah, I think we all need time for ourselves, but there's this disconnect in my family that has always been there. Okay, it's like the disconnect in my family has always been there, and connection is like non-existent, and it's feeling like that also, like with my sister. So it's like I'm experiencing kind of like the same thing that I had experienced, with my own parents. Now I'm also experiencing it with my sister. Because I would not just like close the page and be like, forget about my family. I don't have a family. Now my family is a family that I have now, and forget about everybody else. Like I don't know how that works. Like I don't know how you can just unplug yourself from someone that you have, you that was like the only person you had, because in reality we only had each other. And it's just very hard to feel like you were, abandoned, and be like, it's very cold. It's very cold. That's the best word to put it. It's very cold. It's very cold, and that hurts. I'm so glad that you caught my life too. Hi from Spain, Laura. I'm sorry that I can't read names. Is that I forgot my glasses. So when I need to see. I need glasses for up close. So if you see that I don't mention names, it's because I have a hard time reading the comments because I forgot my glasses. You just turned 44. I can't relate to your situation and many years of trauma. Yeah, it's crazy how I never knew that so many of us around the same age have experienced similar things. So my heart goes out to you, Laura, because it's not easy. Yeah, which that's what I've done, Nikki. I don't think much anymore about what hurts, but when it gets brought up, I get in my feelings about it. But I used to be a lot worse, where I would constantly think about it, and I would cry and I would have a breakdown. But I'm not, I have not done that in a while. Actually, today is like the first time, or no, the second time, because the first time I kind of mentioned it was in my first video. But now that it was brought up, it kind of just made me emotional. But I don't really give it that much attention anymore. Thank you, Ursula. I am doing my best to do that. I am doing my very best to do that. And learning to love my own self and my own company. Do you have a job living alone with pets? I don't live alone. I live with my parents. That's like the main story of mine, is that I am trapped. I trapped myself through my beliefs and programming, and I have been living with my parents. Now, like, I need to mention this because for some reason, there's a lot of misconception about this. So, because I live with my parents, but my parents do not pay for my things. They don't pay for any of my stuff. I am the one responsible for my own things. Okay, so everybody is for themselves in my house, basically. The only thing that my dad pays is the house. Okay, so I am grateful that I'm able to have a place to live. Okay, I have a roof over my head. But, like, my bills, I pay them. They don't pay them for me. I pay them. I'm gonna say, I suck. I know you would not believe my story even if I told you I am a pastor and been there, all of it. Wow, I mean, I would believe your story. Trust me, I would believe your story. I have experienced things. I'm not a pastor, but I have experienced things that I saw a pastor experience. So I can imagine somewhat of what you are talking about, because for a short period of time, I saw what a pastor was experiencing. And that changed a lot of things for me. Yeah, I love this park. This park is close, it's close to my house, but I have to drive here. And I usually would come here like riding bike, because it's quite a few miles from my house, but I would ride bike like 12 miles a day. I haven't been able to because of the heat, but I would come here and ride bike, and this would be like one of the stops that I would do to continue my route. And I love this park. So I decided that when I started filming, I'm like, where do I go? I don't know where to go. And I'm like, I know the perfect place, the lake with the ducks. I'm not well, I am free to move. I just don't have the financial means to move. But I am free to move. Um, I don't have the financial means, and what had I mentioned before, most places in Florida, they do not really accept dogs. And if they do, it's very expensive. It's very expensive. Florida now has moved into like the number one state that is the most expensive to live. Like it passed New York. It's really hard here. Like, and what you get paid here on like for a wage, it is you cannot survive. Um, a lot of people are actually like living in like in like let's say like a 4-bedroom house, and everybody's splitting like the rent between 4 people to be able to afford to live in a room, because it's very hard to like live here. Rent is ridiculous. What you get paid is ridiculous, and by ridiculous I mean you don't get paid enough, and everything is expensive. So I cannot just go somewhere with my 3 dogs and go into a room with someone, or like with roommates, because I can't do that with 3 dogs. So that's not an option for me. But that is something that's becoming very, very popular here, is that people are renting out rooms because they can't afford to move in to a place. Even an efficiency or a studio here, it's close to 3 grand, and that's the rent. You have to pay like your I think it's like your first month and last month. Most places here require that. That's a lot of money to move out to a studio. And when I mean a studio, I'm talking about there's no kitchen, okay? It's just like a an area where you can put a bed and maybe your TV and a closet and a bathroom. There is no kitchen. So it's hard. Like Florida is not a place to live. Florida is a place to come to vacation, but not a place to live. It's not a place to live because it's overly priced. The spaces are so small. They charge you an arm and a leg for a studio. A 1 bedroom is close to like $3,500. Almost like it depends like the area. If you go to a really bad area, you might find it at $2,000. Okay, so it all depends the area, and it's expensive, and it's gotten so expensive in the last 2 years that it's crazy. I tried moving out and I couldn't. I live in an expensive city in the UK and have this to share a house. Yeah, that's what people are doing. I am not homeless. Yeah, people are doing that. People are renting out rooms, but I can't do that because of my dogs. I can't do that. And a lot of there was a person who had offered me that he would he would rent me one of his rooms, and he had 2 Frenchies, and I was like, I can't have 2 Frenchies plus my dogs. There's no way. Like no, there's no way. I know everywhere is expensive. Everywhere is expensive. But like Florida, I think Florida is like, it's crazy. It is crazy. And there's so much fraud here. Like there's so much fraud here, and people rip you off. And if they say that you need a place, they're going to try to upcharge you as best they can. And yeah, it's very hard. Florida is very it's gotten very hard to live in Florida and survive in Florida, and even to find a job is very hard. Like here, you need to know someone who knows someone who knows someone. And if you don't, you're pretty much screwed. Like my friend, he just got hired at the beginning of the year, and he's getting paid like 12 an hour. And it's like almost, it's not even enough for him to like do anything. Like he lives paycheck to paycheck, literally. And he's getting paid $12 an hour. And he found a place that thankfully allowed him to have his mom a studio. I'm talking about a studio He doesn't have a kitchen. And his mom and him live in that place with his 3 female dogs that this person was kind enough to let him. Um, but he barely survives. Barely survives. We don't get paid enough to live a semi-decent life. If you're single, it's so hard. Yeah, that's the thing too, that I am on my own. And on my own is very difficult. And I think that's one of the main reasons why it's made it so hard for me to get out, because I'm on my own, and it's like living from paycheck to paycheck. Most people don't even have, like, there are so many people that have become homeless here because people cannot survive here. It's very hard. Mike, I understood that living with your parents is common in the USA. It is actually getting very common. And I've also seen a lot of people who were living on their own, and they have moved back into their parents' house because they can't afford to live on their own because everything has gotten so expensive. And that is something very common right now in this country, where people are leaving they're leaving their where they rent, like, on their own to live with their parents again because they can't afford to pay rent. Yeah, trust me, I love Florida for nature. Like, I love Florida because the sky is beautiful. I love the palm trees. I love the ocean. But Florida is not a place to live. It is not a place to live. It's not. I live off only 800 a month. It's so hard, and I'm single too. Yeah, it's crazy. You can't do nothing with $800. Like, that's not even surviving. We don't have we have a lot of alligators. Yeah. It's funny because I mentioned about the alligators in my last live. I have literally, like, s- they just scared me. I don't know why. I don't know what happened, but there was a duck that freaked out over there. Um, so yeah, there's a lot of alligators, and I've gone to, like, the Everglades, and I've been near the alligators. I have sat next to the alligators. I respect them. Like, I give them their space, but I'm not afraid of them, and they're not they're not aggressive. Crocodiles are, but alligators are more chill. So they allow you to be there without really, if you don't interfere with them, they're not going to interfere with you. And I think it has a lot to do with how you, like, present yourself to them. But there is a lot of alligators here. I have sat next to an alligator, and it's because we were walking. It was like a really long trail we had to walk, and the alligator was, like, on the side, and I kind of sat, like, on the other side of it, like, not on the other side of it. I was, like, like, a little bit far away from it, but I was next to him. But he was sleeping, so I did not feel a threat. So I kind of, like, they never really do anything when I'm around. It's Me and my sister have gone a lot. Like, in the past, we would go a lot to the Everglades, and they don't really do anything unless you are going there trying to start something with them. Then you would see them. Like, for example, there was one time. This is years ago, but there was this one time we went to the Everglades, and these 2 people that we were friends with, or, like, yeah, we were becoming friends with, they went with us to the Everglades. And one of them was my sister's friend, and the other one was a friend of mine that came from New York. And when I tell you that I had to leave the Everglades because of them, we had to leave because they were agitating the alligators by just being, I don't know, something about them was not vibing with the alligators. And one of them even got up and started, like, making this hissing sound where I was like, dude, the alligators are not feeling you. We're gonna have to go. And we ended up leaving because I felt like they were agitating the alligators because they were very disrespectful. So we left. We ended up leaving. So I think animals they can sense you, and if you have this energy of agitation, they're going to get agitated. Alligators are. I find alligators very, very. They're very chill. Crocodiles are the ones that are not. Crocodiles are the ones that are aggressive. Like, they are aggressive. But alligators, they're very chill. Like, you can literally walk right in front of one and they'll look at you like, okay. Hi, hi, hi. I'm sorry if I can't read. I don't blame you. Thank you, Juan. This is just me, and I know that to some people it might sound crazy that I that I am cool with alligators. But I really am. I'm not afraid of them. I'm not afraid of animals, and I don't go and disrespect them or invade their privacy or anything like that. But if they allow me to be around them, I respect them. I'm not gonna go and agitate them, or if I feel off energetically, I'm not gonna go around them. If I'm a Libra, no, I am actually a Capricorn. I am a Capricorn, and my moon sign is in Pisces, so that's why I have this very deep emotional side to me, because my moon sign is a water sign. It's a kill off. The rich exploiting the poor, political BS, right and left. Go vote, go, go. Yeah, yeah. People are starting to realize, okay, people are starting to realize that all of this is the same BS, no matter what. And I think it's up to us to start to show up authentically and start to become, who we really are. And we're the ones that got to change the world. We're the ones that got to change the world, and we got to change the way things operate, because it's not beneficial for any of us other than the wealthy. You have black bears around your house often. Black bears are adorable. Have you seen the iguana again? Actually, yeah, I saw the iguana not today, but the day before yesterday. And I love iguanas. Actually, when I was younger, I had an iguana. His name was Iggy, and I would feed him, and I would take care of him. And in Christmas, he would get like inside the Christmas tree. I loved him. He sadly passed away he had like a cancer in his jaw. I don't know. You know what's funny? That this park literally says at the entrance that you're not allowed to fish. It's prohibited. People still come here and fish. I find that so like. And mind you, this is like a man-made lake, and I don't understand. I don't understand the concept of fishing. I don't understand of hooking a fish, making him suffer to then unhook him and throw him back in the water. If you're gonna do that, because you cannot eat any of these fishes. I don't understand. To me, that's cruelty to me. Like, I understand that people do that as a sport, but I don't find it a sport to hook a fish, cause them pain, and then release them. To me, that is completely cruelty. I will never understand fishing. To me, fishing is not a sport. It's a form of showing cruelty to an animal. Oh my God, I'm going to check your shorts, because I love bears and I love deers. I mean, in Colorado, I ran into a lot of deers and elks and even a moose. I love, and I know black bears are, to people it might be scary, but black bears are the more docile of the bears. And I think they're beautiful. I mean, I would actually, I have dogs. So if I lived anywhere with black bears, I would make sure to keep an eye on my dogs and not allow them to go out without me making sure that they're safe. But I love, bears are beautiful. My lobster screams when I boil them for a second. There's not enough people that are unified in this world that will change the system. Well, to be honest, Nikki, I think that for the first time ever, there are a lot more people who have become aware than not. I think that the reason why we see a lot of the noise and the hate and division is because they speak louder. They're so loud, and it makes it seem like there's thousands of them. But I think that we're, for the first time ever, we're seeing where there's this shift of people, where there's people who really want to change things, and then the people who are so stern into like old beliefs and systems that they don't want to like let go of that. And I think that for the first time ever, there's a shift in a collective consciousness where things can improve. And I say that because I think that we repeat cycles, and we are becoming aware of, are we going to be repeating the same cycle again? Because that will be self-destruction. So a lot of us are aware of that pattern. And I think a lot of us are understanding that everything is cyclical. And if we're going to be doing the same thing all over again, then we're not evolving as human beings. So I think that we're at a tipping point right now where we're going to, in time, we are going to be able to shift the world in another direction, because it's a collective movement. You have a beautiful tattoo in your right arm. Oh, this one's from Demon Slayers, my Rengoku. Hello, Bubble Peaches. Yeah, people. There's a mass amount of people waking up. There's people are starting to question. They're no longer just agreeing and being like, yeah, what the system says, they're right. No, people are starting to question. People are starting to really like notice, like, we've been lied to. All of this has been a lie. Everything that we've been told has been a lie. Everything has been designed to keep us in a box where we live the same routine life every single day, and we think that there's nothing more to life than to like work, have a family, and die. Work, have a family, and die. Like that's literally how it like it's like a hamster wheel. We're just doing the same thing over and over again. And I think that people are realizing that there's more to life than that. There's more to who we are. We're not just like beings are meant to be living on this hamster wheel where there's no growth. There's just suffering and pain and more pain and more pain and more suffering. And then we're always waiting for someone outside to come and save us. And the only person that's going to save us is ourselves. And we are the ones that have to step into that. And I think that many of us are starting to do that. So what do you think is freedom? Freedom is the right to be yourself and to live unified with the resources the planet offers you. So we can, the moment, let's say for example, the moment that we can tap into the free energy, you know how many people are going to be free? Okay, of so many things, because energy is everything. So there's so many possibilities to who we can be as a human being and actually be who we are, because we are creative beings who are always creating things, and we can make the world such a nicer place, a more unified place. But we have to start to realize that there is something greater than us. And once we learn to tap into that energetic field that is everything that you cannot see, because you're only seeing what your brain allows you to see. But if you learn to see energy, you can see energy. Everything is energy. And there is freedom when you're able to be who you are and step outside with your truth and be you and live life freely that way. That is freedom. But to live confined and conformed and told how to live and tell you that if you don't have kids at a certain age, or if you don't have this kind of job, or if that you're not doing this, or you're not living alone during, this certain age, or whatever labels people want to give you, that is not freedom. That is confinement. That is keeping you believing that you have to do something to please other people. And that's not pleasing other people. You need to please yourself and be who you are. And I think that your true freedom comes from living life to your truth and creating your own rhythm and motion in life that inspires other people and that also helps other people. We should not have to pay to live in a house. It should be a fundamental right for every. Yes, I agree. It is a capitalism, absolutely. And trust me that the reason why the way this system is like this is because they know things that they don't want us to know. And when someone knows, they disappear. Because they don't want the information to get out. They want to keep control of us. I don't know if you guys have ever seen, I don't know if there's anyone here who watches anime. But Attack on Titan, Okay, Attack on Titan is one of the most deepest, most profound anime stories that is not for kids at all. Even though I know kids watch it, but it hits very hard, and it shows you just how manipulating the system is to make you believe that there's no life outside of the box. Okay, and we are living in that box right now. No, there is no alligator behind me. It would be nice though. There is no alligator behind me. You won't be satisfied even because you're looking for freedom and happiness and material things. No, freedom and happiness does not come from material things. Freedom and happiness comes from yourself. It comes from within. It comes from being you freely. That is freedom. The material things are not going to be freedom. You can have material things because they make you feel good and you enjoy them, but your true freedom comes from your freedom from within. Freedom of being who you are, freedom of showing up as you and not being afraid of being judged by people. Freedom is knowing your power and knowing your truth and walking through life with your truth. Because at the end of the day, the material stuff, you're not taking any of that the day you die. Your real purpose is to live your life and your emotions and feel them and express them and share them with people. Because what you take with you is how you made other people feel, how you cared about people, how you cared about yourself and how you loved yourself and how you were able to be someone who inspired. And I think that is the best gift that we can offer the world is our true selves, our true empathetic, humanitarian self that we are. That is our true essence, not material stuff. Material stuff is meant to be enjoyed, and yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, but who you are is what you take with you, and who you are being to people and how you treat people and how you care about people and how you care about the world, it's what you're going to take with you. The feelings that you gave people, the way you made them feel, the way that you cared about people and the way you cared about life and animals and your heart is what you take, not the material stuff. Not the material stuff. The material stuff are just pleasures that you can experience as a human being. But your true core and your true essence is your inner self, who you are, your soul, and how you move through life. That is your what you're going to take with you. You're not going to take your clothes, your body, you won't take any of that. Your consciousness is what you're going to experience and all of your emotions and what you gave, what you did, who you helped, who you loved, who you showed comfort. You know, that's what you're going to take. The emotions, the things that you did for others, and not just others, but how you were someone who opened yourself up to love. What do I think love is? Well, actually, I speak about that in my video for tomorrow because I experienced in my meditation something very surreal. But to be honest, like I know what love is in the sense of I know how I love my dogs. I know, how I love my sister and the love I have with my parents. That kind of love I know. But the love is something that you cannot even imagine. Like unconditional love is something that you cannot even imagine or even think of or process, and the brain will not even comprehend that because we don't know that. But there is no words to express what love, like real love is. It is bigger than what you could ever even think of. Like I have seen people who say that having a child, there's nothing greater than the love of a child and loving a child. I am 100% sure that the love that's unconditional is even greater than that. Like there's nothing that can ever touch that kind of love. It's like sacred. And I touch on that on my video tomorrow, which sadly is a long video because I talked a lot about my experience with meditation. Do you think love is what connects you with me? I believe what connects us to each other is energy, and it's a frequency that is connected to that web of love, if that makes sense. Yeah, it is a connective energy. I've never done ayahuasca, but the experience I had meditating, you can say it was like if I had taken ayahuasca, because the truth is our brains and our bodies create those chemicals on its own when you're in the right condition energetically and connected in coherence with your mind and body, with your mind and heart, you're able to experience things, and you create chemicals in your body that gives you this experience without needing to take ayahuasca or microdosing or any of those things. And your body's a pharmacy, so you can tap into that. And I did that without even knowing. Like, it happened without even knowing. And yeah, the experience is very similar to psychedelic or taking ayahuasca or something like that. My body created chemicals that were very similar to that. During this live, do you feel yourself getting lighter as you let people know what's on your mind? Yes, it actually helps me. I love talking, and I love expressing the way that I think and my perspective and my experiences. And I feel that it does help me feel lighter. And a lot of my energy gets moved. So most likely tomorrow or later on today, I'm going to probably feel tired because I'm moving energy and I'm expanding at the same time by talking, because connecting with people and seeing perspectives and learning also from you guys, it allows me to expand more. So more energy gets used. So it's like an expansion that sometimes can be a little draining. Toxic people have dark anger and self-hatred, and they project that on people. So Cesar, um, I don't necessarily. I've learned that emotions are emotions. There is no dark or light to emotion. It's just an emotion. We are the ones that give the perspective or the idea of what that emotion might be. It could be angry, it could be a dark emotion or a light emotion. We label the emotion based off and call people dark energy or light, but it's all energy at the end of the day. It's the same energy that created the universe, you know? And in order to create the universe, it was chaos at first, explosions, and a lot of stars died in order to, like, it was chaotic. So there is no perspective when it comes to there is neutrality when it comes to emotions. We define what the emotion is. So I don't want to see it as dark. Like, I don't see anger as something dark. Actually, anger shows you what you're carrying, what you need to work with. So anger can be your friend. So it's just a matter of realizing that everything is neutral. We define it, and we are the ones that give it the power and the momentum behind it. So anger is something that we use to release, and it helps you be able to move where you need, like the direction that you need to go. So anger could be, it's very useful. It's a useful emotion because it shows you where is the trapped energy and where is the anger coming from. And when you can feel it, you can release it. So anger is a guide. That's how I see emotions. And I don't see, like, for example, like my parents or people that are toxic in general, I don't see them in like, oh, they're dark. They just carry density. They carry a programming. They carry a low vibrational frequency, and they don't know how they're just kind of stuck there. So I don't see it as dark, or I just see it as it's just dense. And when it's dense, it's heavy, and when it's heavy, it can hurt, and hurt people. So that's how I see the perspective wise, because if I start to identify everything as dark, then I'm going to see everything by a dark lens. You know what I mean? And I think that how we view the world is very important. So if you believe in like good things, even if the world is falling apart, but you believe in the good, you're going to start to see the good. And if you believe in the bad, you're going to see more of the bad. So it's all perspective and what you believe. That's why it's very important to start to break down your beliefs and start to create beliefs that you really want to believe in. Because if you're going to keep believing that, you know, the world is bad and the world is terrible, and we're giving more power to the things that are going wrong instead of giving power to the things that we want to go right. So it's all a matter of how you see things and how you approach them and how you see them, so that we can transform what we are experiencing. Because what's happening in the world today collectively, we've all chosen it. And not just us, like for centuries. All this is happening in the world, this moment today, has been chosen collectively. We've all been moving towards that direction without even knowing. And now we have it in our face. And now it's like, what are we going to do with it? is this what we want? Is this how we want to live our lives? Is this what we want for the future? And we can now see it and be like, okay, no, this is not how I want to see life. This is not how I want to live life. This is not what I want life to be for future generations. So it's in our power to start to move in another direction and do things in another direction and have another perspective and move away and stop giving power to what is trying to take the power away from us. Let's see. What do I think about manifestation? I believe in manifestation. Everything is manifestation. Every experience is a manifestation. And there are many times, I'm pretty sure many of you have thought about something and it has happened like a day later, or you have thought about someone's, like you haven't seen a friend and you thought about that person. You manifested that person and the person magically appears. So manifestation is real. It's just that manifestation, I think we complicate it too much. I have complicated too much where I don't, I feel like I don't know how to manifest, but I think that the moment you start to show up and you start to like step into your authenticity, the synchronicities lead to manifestations. Yes, we can choose how to see the world or interact with it. Blaming politicians won't help. Yeah, it won't help because the moment you blame someone, you're giving them power and you're giving them your energy. So what does that do? It creates more of the same. And what you want to do is not give them the power, not give them the energy, not give them the attention, because where you place your energy, where you place your attention is where energy flows. So if we keep giving attention, we're going to be giving them our energy. And the more energy they get, the more they can do what they're doing. So we got to pull the plug and not give them attention anymore. Not give them attention anymore. And the moment you do that, the world starts to change because they start to lose power. And I think that's why right now everything is like so like chaotic and like dismantling, because a lot of people are pulling away from the system and they're like, no, this is some BS. So that's why there's this we're in a very crazy moment right now where things are so like in this, like they're not stable. Do you think this might be a simulation? And are we just extras in the program? No, we're all collectively participating. So look, this might be a simulation in the sense that even our brain is holographic map, okay? So everything we see is created by us, you know? So we could be, but we're actually participating in this simulation. We have a role and a purpose, and our consciousness is really what like moves us around. And we got to tap into who we are. So that's like the most important thing is about you're in the simulation, but you can also tap into yourself, like to your higher self. You want to move through this simulation through your higher self, not through the physical and like just thinking that you're stuck in the simulation and you're playing a game. No, like you are in control of the game, but you need to become aware of who you are so that you can unravel this and move it in a way where you can live life how you want to live. Excuse me for 1 second. You ready to level up, young lady? Do you have a DM in your channel so I can let you hear what we can do? I have my email in my bio, I believe. No, you want to experience and learn. Yeah, that's another thing. That's another important thing, is that we are meant to experience and learn. Life is learning, and there is no such thing as knowing it all. You're never gonna know it all, no matter what. You're always gonna learn more because there's always more to learn, and life is a learning. The more you learn, the more you evolve, and the more your consciousness expands. And I think that's the beauty of all this, is that you can keep expanding and growing, and it's always going to be something that is going to be a part of every individual, is the growth, because there's no such thing as knowing it all. We might think we know everything and we know nothing. Yeah, we are meant to have fun. We're meant to enjoy life. We're meant to laugh. We're meant to have, moments of like where we actually are our child selves living in the freedom of being able to be who we are and having moments of laughter and sharing moments with people. It cannot just be all just suffering and cyclical patterns and the BS. It can't, because it's taking away our energy and it's making us all sick. It is stopping us from being who we are. We can't continue to live life that way, because it's draining. It's draining, and it's taking away years of our lives, because we are so focused on the BS that we are leaving ourselves and abandoning ourselves, and not realizing that we have such an important role in our own growth and how we can help other people also. So, yeah. What would be your favorite place you'd like to live? Beach, woods, or mountain? The mountains. I'm in Florida. I love the ocean. That's one of the main reasons I love Florida. But the mountains is what calls me. Yeah, the biggest challenge it is to break free. I am not even. I'm telling you this from my own experience. It is the biggest challenge you will ever face, is to break free. I am in that process right now, and trust me, it is nerve wracking. It comes with massive anxiety. It it makes you it makes you even doubt yourself. But as long as you keep just pushing forward and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing, there's going to be a point where the freedom is going to be there. It's going to be there. Hello, everyone. Hope you're okay. Remember, you're amazing and you're loved and make a difference in the world. Yeah, that is a very important comment that you have there, last lost boy. We are the ones that have to make the world better. We are the ones that have to make the world better. We're the ones we have to start moving into who we are. We have to start moving into our authenticity. We have to start creating the change we want to see in the world. We can't wait for someone outside to come and do it, because it's not going to happen. There's nobody coming here to do that. Nobody. There's nobody coming here to save us, to protect us, to shield us. No, it's us. It's us. It starts with me, you know? So we need to stand up for ourselves, and for not only for ourselves, but also be of service to other people, so that they can feel that they can do the same and feel safe to do the same. Because that's another thing. Many of us don't feel safe when you do this, because you're afraid. And we need to create like a community of us who are with each other and supporting each other, so that we don't feel afraid of showing up and finally being ourselves, and because we're the ones that can change the world. Don't let anybody dull your smile. It's all about smiles and cries, and nobody can take that away from you, and take good care of everyone. You're absolutely right. Yeah, that's also the subconscious is trying to protect you. Yes, because hi guys. I don't know if you see them all. I have like um the subconscious mind is trying to protect you. Okay, because we have been living in survival. Okay, we have been living in survival, and we have been stuck in survival mode. So the subconscious is always trying to protect. Is always going to try to protect. We need to learn how to overcome the subconscious mind and start to learn about ourselves and and the way that our subconscious keeps tricking us. Because it's not that it's a bad thing. It's just trying to protect you, because the world has become a scary place. The world has been a scary place. I mean, we have a history of really ugly things, and we all carried that. Even if it wasn't even in our lifetimes, it's in our cellular memory. We carry all that pain, so we are in survival subconsciously all the time, and we're not even aware of that. So it's working with your son there, called me. And yes, that's another thing. If you need to cry, cry it out. If you need to scream, scream it out. If you need whatever you're feeling and you want to move it, do it. Do it. So I believe that sleep is needed. Helps you restore your body. So you need sleep. You need to restore your body. You need time for your body to restore itself, because that is what helps you to like gain your energy back and restore your cells. And you need sleep. Sleep is very important. Food, I see, like I only eat like twice a day. I don't Food varies on like what gives you energy is what you should be eating, what gives you energy, and what is makes your body feel good. But sleep is very important, and drinking water. Drinking water is extremely important. You have dreams of anger. Well, maybe it's because you're carrying anger. You're carrying anger. My rest isn't really rest because I have so much anger. Yeah, I know what you mean because I've experienced a lot of that too. I've experienced a lot of that too, and not only that, but anxious mind doesn't let you sleep, and it's because we live in a world where everything is a worry, everything is a problem, and we live in the past, and we keep thinking, we keep reliving the same stuff over and over again, and we wake up to the same crap like every single day. So the mind doesn't get a break. You have to start to like the way to kind of ease that is meditation. Meditation will help you calm your mind enough so that you can actually rest at night. But it's something that you need to implement. At least start with like 5 minutes a day so that it helps you get to a state where you can actually relax, because your body needs restorative sleep. When you don't have restorative sleep, then you end up having a lower immune system and you can end up sick. You could let go of rage. Trust me, you could let go of rage. And the fact that you know that that is a reason why you have the rage, you can work with it to let it go. Because I had rage, and find what triggers you to feel the rage, and then use that to release it. It could be a song, it could be a motion, like maybe running or riding bike, or maybe going somewhere and screaming or yelling or punching a pillow. Find something that can move that from you so that you can release it. Once you release it, you're going to feel a lot lighter. How's your anxiety at the moment? What works best for you? Well, my anxiety has been, I had some anxiety yesterday. Today I have a little bit. My anxiety tends to get worse once the sun starts to set, because that's when your body starts to slow down and obviously to like rest. So usually that's like where my anxiety comes in the most. So I've been managing it. This week I'm a lot less stressed than I was last week with anxiety. But I had anxiety yesterday because of my dog, and I have a little bit of anxiety today. And let me see. When I get angry and emotional, anger turns into emotions and just cry it out on the floor. Yeah, you just need to find a way to move your emotions, Adam, so that you can release it somehow. There has to be a way. There has to be a way for you to release those emotions, and you just have to find what makes you feel a certain way so that you can move it. So that you can move it. Blessings from Corpus Christi. Hi, Kana. Hi, Susie. I thought of you. Lived in UK. No, I don't live in the UK. No, it's actually gone away. I still have some discomfort. I'm not gonna lie, but I think it's because my dog really like pawed me, like she blunt me really hard, and I think that my tissue is healing, and I still have like a little bit of weird sensation there, but I think it's healing. And apparently, for what I researched, it can take up to 6 weeks. So we'll see. But it is a lot better. Have I been abroad? I've only been to Dominican Republic and Colorado. That's the only two places I've ever been. I do know what binaural beats is. Yes, I do know what that is. I have listened to it before, and some of the meditations I have done does have some sort of binaural beats. And I think I am going to be ending the live now because it's 5:40. I need to get home. I've been here for almost 3 hours now, and I need to edit my video for tomorrow and stuff. I want to thank every single person who has joined this live. And I just want to say to please remember to be authentic, stand in your power, because we are the ones that could bring change into this world. And I just want to say thank you for being here. And I do love all of you so much, and I do appreciate all of you. Yes, that's very important, because your feelings, no matter how, no matter if they feel too much or too dense or too chaotic, you need to feel them. That your emotions are all valid, and you need to learn how to work with them. I'm gonna try to go live maybe Friday, and I want to thank every single one of you for being here. And this is my little tote bag from like Trader Joe's that I got last year. I want to thank every one of you for being here, for sitting here with me. It's been like, what, 97 minutes on this live. Thank you so much. Remember to please, 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 please step into your authenticity. That is your superpower. Don't be afraid of being you. Stand in your truth. Speak your truth. And yeah, wishing you guys to have like a wonderful weekend. And I'll see you guys tomorrow on my video, which is a little long because it's about my meditation experience, but just wanted to let you guys know. So thank you so much for being here. I will see you tomorrow.